morning, Boker Tov, Shushan Purim Sameach. It's very odd that we have two separate holidays for Yerushalayim and really all walled cities, and outside of Yerushalayim. Today is their Purim. They're reading the Megillah today, and we're not. We did that yesterday, and they didn't do yesterday. Where is this from? So the answer is it's actually in the Megillah itself. The Megillah itself tells us a story that the decree of Haman was for the enemies, the Oevim, to destroy Am Yisrael on the 13th of Adar. And on the 13th of Adar, the Jewish people defended themselves. And they were successful. And so they celebrated on the 14th of Adar, which was the day after. However, in Shushan, which was a walled city, a major city, it was the capital city, they had requested from the king, this is written in the Megillah, they had requested in the king to continue to defend themselves, because there were enemies that wanted to kill the Jewish people the next day also, and they had the right to defend themselves on the 14th of Adar as well. So in Shushan, the city of Shushan, they fought for 2 days, on the 13th and on the 14th, and then after that, when they were successful, after 2 days of fighting, they celebrated on the 15th. So just as back then, just as back then they had celebrated on the 14th outside of Shushan, and they had celebrated on the 15th inside of Shushan, so too, what we do is we take that model and that we celebrate the holiday of Purim for Be'areha Perazim, as the Megillah says, in unwalled cities on the 14th, and walled cities like Shushan on the 15th. The question is, walled when? When did the city have to be walled in order for it to be considered a walled city? So a very simple answer would be the time of Shushan. Whatever was walled at the time of the story of Achashverosh, that's considered a walled city. So give all walled cities at the time of Achashverosh, all walled cities should read on the 15th, versus anything that's scattered, an unwalled city, should read on the 14th. But that's not what Halakha says. Halakha says, when it has to be walled? The times of Yehoshua bin Nun, which means the time that we entered the land of Israel at that time. Why? Well, there's really two ways of answering this question. The first answer is because the Megillah uses the word perazim. Perazim means unwalled. The Torah, in the context of Yehoshua bin Nun entering and conquering the land of Israel, also uses the word perazim. So just as in the Torah, when it says unwalled, it talks about during the times of Yehoshua bin Nun. When the Megillah says unwalled, Gezerah Shavah, it's also talking about unwalled cities from the times of Yehoshua bin Nun. But there's another answer that's not as technical with the words. The answer is because, practically speaking, at that time, was Yerushalayim a walled city or not? The answer is no. Yerushalayim, the city, was destroyed. It was a time after the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. So if for the rest of history, we said, you know what? Every walled city from the times of Achashverosh is going to be on the 15th, and every unwalled city is going to be on the 14th. By the times of Achashverosh, guess what? Yerushalayim will forever be remembered in its disgrace that it's going to read on the 14th. It's not going to be on the 15th because it was unwalled. And so Chazal, as they were establishing this new holiday, they don't have to follow anything. They're coming up with a holiday. They don't want in the holiday for there to be a bizayon for Yerushalayim. And so what they say is, we're going to use this Gezerah Shavah and say we're going to go by the walled cities. Our cutoff time, our snapshot time is going to be the times of Yehoshua bin Nun. This way we're fulfilling the idea of the walled cities being different. Shushan will be different as well. Even if Shushan wasn't unwalled, Shushan is going to be considered, even if Shushan wasn't walled at the times of Yehoshua bin Nun, it gets in there on the 15th. All the other walled cities, the times of Yehoshua bin Nun, and this way we maintain the integrity and we don't disgrace Yerushalayim as we're trying to celebrate. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we see we're always thinking about Yerushalayim. Even as we have miracles throughout the world, our thoughts are always on Yerushalayim. Here at Be'ezrat Hashem, as they're celebrating Purim today, may it be once again for Yerushalayim and for the entire world that we're able to defend ourselves against our enemies, and here at we should be able to celebrate in good health from the destruction of all of our enemies.